I don't know what's going on with second camera anymore. No kitty. Maybe there's some plushie there. Goomba, say hi. Say hi to the audience. It has been how long since I played this? The last Disco Elysium stream was April 13th, and it is now June 28th. And literally, the last Disco Elysium stream was I had to leave early because I forgot that I scheduled a thing with a friend, and I said I'll be back next week. And then I didn't stream for 2 weeks, and then I didn't stream for a month and a half. So basically, I have forgotten half of the shit we were doing this game. It's going great. So I believe we last talked with Bear, and now we got. Oh, that's my.
Yes?
Tell me about the
What do you want to know?
Can we go over preliminary info
You
again?
mean like a brief? Do you want me to brief you again?
Yes, please.
3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between a security guard or worker of some sort, hired by what? They didn't identify themselves in any way. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The Dock Workers Union is the de facto police in Martinez. That's right. No, it's not a particularly mysterious case.
Why not?
The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that.
I don't like any of these answers. Like, labor disputes are very...
Then you are in luck, because we are in the midst of a major strike by the Dock Workers Union. Maybe more than that. The union clearly wants a piece, not just of the industrial...
Is this a strike then? Or the first shots in a workers' coup?
Let's hope so.
I expect the case itself to be less challenging than navigating these community matters. This district isn't used to the RCM's presence, and the union rarely overplays its hand, as it appears to have done in this case. Strike, coup, revolution. It's brigandage, however you parse it.
You feel something rising through you. A familiar feeling.
Grounded the
And
workers in the
opinion
5 days of
taken
the pigs.
form.
Ground the owners in the 5 days of the pigs. With this little foreknowledge, I'm unsure which I did the pig's feed. The decision was fermented in me. Also nationalism. Jesus Christ. I don't think grinding one side of the preliminary papers. I am really, really smart. I spent the last 20 seconds saying I should have to grind the pig's feed. Why? I'm torn between 2 and 5. Why is a fair question. 2 seems reasonable. 1 seems super fascist. 3, yeah. And then 4 is so pretentious. It's amusingly pretentious. I did not expect... I was genuinely just like, oh, let's get a refresher. I was not expecting pressing the random button I never pressed before to go super, enlightening, shall we say.
When I said we have to navigate community matters, I did not mean we have any say in them. I meant we should be careful. If we are not, the shit will blow right in our faces.
He makes a quick gesture to his visage with a shake.
From an imaginary fan.
Now, was there anything else you wanted?
That's all I
Good.
need. Yeah. Nothing. Seem to be following.
Excuse me?
Nothing, just an observation.
You have a distinctive way of walking. If I were to walk in front of you, we would surely collide.
What do you mean distinct?
I hope you don't take this the wrong way. It's just a collegial observation. In the 57th, we call it the Jamrock Shuffle. Officers from Jamrock's 41st Precinct tend to move a bit erratically.
How's that?
They say it's a scene-clearing technique developed by one of your lieutenants for gathering evidence. It's erratic, yet thorough. Prioritizes containers.
Ooh.
Yes, but containers contain things. Shiny things. They're interesting.
You're kidding me. What containers?
I don't know. Containers contain, I guess. I'm making assumptions. We should move on.
Passing along frivolous interdepartmental stereotypes is not usually his oeuvre. He regrets bringing it up.
Okay. That went well. That was very amusing.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Heimdall somewhere. Rows and rows of Heimdall men blur your vision. You make out some titles. Man from Heimdall and the Mammoth Riders. Man from Heimdall, Return to Heimdall. And the solipsistic Man from Heimdall and the Heimdall Man.
Good God, how many
Maybe
are
100. Man from Heimdall and the sages at the end of the world. Man from Heimdall and the false god. Man from Heimdall and the scorched earth. Man from Heimdall, the Heimdall colonies. Man from Heimdall and the swamp beast. Man from Heimdall and the snow crabs.
Is that all?
Not even close. Man from Heimdall in hell. Man from Heimdall and the forest of slaves. Man from Heimdall under the lake. Man from Heimdall, Heimdall burning. There's even the Trial of Death, a Pastanal combat gamebook set in the world of Heimdall Man, and so much more.
Do any of the books call out to me?
Nothing of interest. Only silence and the cosmic background pain radiation.
Oof.
Oh, Man from Heimdall. A very popular series of adventure novels. They're awfully immoral and violent books.
Why are they so popular?
Blood and violence, scantily clad women, epic narratives, all those mystical things he encounters. They're bound to grab those with little imagination and nothing to do.
That doesn't sound like something I'd be interested in.
At last, someone sensible. However, I still urge you to buy one. Can't
Me
judge a book
making
by the cover, they
cheese
say.
pizza at college. I need people to make the pizza, but also this is boring. Continue.
If you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend Heimdall Man, the Man from Heimdall. It's supposed to be a good introduction to the series.
No thank you. Well, I had a thought.
Volumetric ship compressor.
Ah! Right.
Bizarre scientific news from Revachol West today, where a police officer's shit has been observed at a pressure of around 495 gigadecimals. These metallic hydrogen levels of shit togetherness were thought to exist only at the center of collapsing stars, not law officials. It remains to be seen how long the shit's singularity lasts.
I need to share this with the person I'm talking with right now. Accept. Yay! Jesus Christ, and I had so many of these that I could be doing that I didn't know I could have been doing. All endurance white checks unlocked. Learning cap for endurance raised to 4. Bizarre scientific notes from rubbish. Yeah, okay, yeah, same thing already. Cool. I can choose to forget it. Why would I do that? Okay. Lonesome long way home. Nationhood. Okay, I can't do anything with any of these. There are so many. So I guess Lonesome Long Way Home I will work on. Cool. Wandering around, breaking everything, and talking. Old Sports Magazines tucked away at .com. National Recipes of Party, all about big trout.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise.
Look at the pile.
An endless variety of source books, lore books, and codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Catawak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrag. Books in a board game section? Who wants to read books?
Anything that really catches my eye.
There's a box that says Wirral, 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel notes, a fantastique adventure board game.
Jesus,
New maps and
that's
miniatures.
all my money.
A sticker on it displays 25 real. That price is steep, but then it's the 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplement, so it makes sense.
No, I'm not spending all my money on that. Starkey, what board games do you have here?
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulinda, a very educational game for those interested in geography. Browbritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children.
Who are you going to play board games with? Do you have friends or family? Are you actually friends? Or just colleagues thrown together by circumstance?
I don't feel as if I have any kids.
Friends are technically like family.
She fiddles with her phone and thinking.
For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It'll cost 12 real.
Okay, so it's Catan, got it. What about all these whirl things?
Lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. You know, who are into those kind of things. Personally, I don't like it. Not at all. I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. That they have rituals where they try to summon entities. Highly immoral stuff. You can still buy them, though.
No. Interesting. I will talk to you after I have examined the entire store. Well, upstairs, and then I'll look in the back room. I forget why.
These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen over and over.
What's all this crime fiction?
Oh, crime, robberies, murders, even sexual crimes. We're fortunate to have Dick Mullen and his stories to sort all that out. You're a police officer, apparently. You should buy all of these. They really do teach a person how to be a proper detective.
Crime fiction is a disgrace. An asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes of the arduous everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives.
And instead focus on the part that is the most problematic, which is usually the shooting people.
Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of all the books found on the shelf?
Sure thing.
You see Dick Mullen on the job. Get Me Mullen. The Stalwart Adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the Murder in the... A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the Murder House. The Final Case of Dick Mullen. Shelves filled to the brim with...
Bye. Not nearly as interesting as the last one. Quaint picture brochure, very colorful. Dome of fascist magic, rather candid. Oh my.
The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People. You see a large variety of names, none of which ring a bell.
Still keep anything out on this shelf?
I would say... The Greatest Innocence. Yes, most certainly. It's an important educational tool, delving into the depths of history, religion, and their relation to innocentic power. A very influential historical figure, but surely I don't have to tell you that. You're a law officer, and law officers have at least some education. The book is also very daring. The author aims to re-examine the universal understandings of the innocentic system, creating a fresh vantage point and a shift in the tired order of things.
So you recommend it?
Certainly. It's prudent for a person to have at least an elementary understanding of history and society. Imagine the chaos we'd be in otherwise.
You feel like you should get this one. Definitely. It's important somehow. There's something personal inside.
A true cultural touchstone. Enjoy the read.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the
Browsing through all the books with all their names makes your head spin. Suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love, the tragic true love story of Jacob Irv and Alfie Delatraz. By one, High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of the finest tip-top tourney racers in history. One of them is the madcap driver, Jacob Irv. His blonde mane graces the cover. Next to Irv's life story, you see a slim... Next to that, River Show...
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for free. I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are
I did what I... Oh, you're fine.
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature. Amidst the various books, you find one. These three things are very important to the working class mind.
Not the upper class.
The point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid various paranatural books.
Sir, please, no browsing in that shelf. I can't have you end up, like, opening a police store next door and stealing my customer.
Wow. Another boring book just discarded here. Everyone knows the most interesting thing about fascists was their magic. The overabundance of Nazi sci-fi literature. And the plot of 90% of Hellboy.
Welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. My name is Plaisance.
Clerk extends
Be
agreeing.
welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this space.
What the hell? You the, what the hell? No, not asking that.
I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
Her voice is high-pitched. Your daughter's the one sitting outside the store, right?
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl?
Yes, of course.
Wonderful! Did you talk to her?
Yes.
Great! On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
I'm not a great human being. I don't do
Come
that.
now, it's not personal. It's about proper sales practices and market research. I expect an answer.
She's very polite and helpful.
My precious, her dedication brings joy to my heart. If you have children, I hope they turn out as great as my Annette.
What you're handling me strikes me as wrong, or you're just mental the free market abolish child labor.
You must be kidding. There's nothing like that happening.
Depends how much you pay
Good
the kid.
sir. What does a young child do with money anyway? No, I save it for her, as a fund. She's securing her financial future out there.
Such criminal behavior would not happen in more developed countries.
In some more developed countries, there's such a thing as 2 felonies, child labor and slavery.
Those countries will realize they've raised a lazy and spoiled generation. Are we done with the jokes now?
The tone is decisive, not at all angry at the insinuation.
Yes, we've had quite enough fun here. Right.
Okay, let's change this up.
The woman before you scans the store, her shoulders rigid and tense. Every now and then,
Goodness,
wanna buy a
you
book?
were already doing good, browsing the shelves. Why'd you stop? Don't
Other
you?
books
Everything
you
is
have.
on the shelves. Take a look yourself. The shelves compel you, don't they?
Alright.
she smiles and nods.
Farewell for now, book peddler.
Hey, psst,
For me?
yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
How come there's word on the street?
You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impel all people who have more
Hey,
than
that was me for a
25
while.
real in their pockets. Literally murder all human beings, regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff.
I mean, I started with the first one, but I don't think I've done much. I've said some mildly left-wing things
Oh
in the
yes,
notes.
the mask of ambivalence. Don't deny it. You're about to rip it off and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that would devour and masticate mankind.
Some people's children.
Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it?
Wait, what's this communism even about?
Failure. It's about failure.
I was gonna say that's a lie given this character. Failure?
Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished,
so it's
beaten,
white savior.
curb stomped and pissed on. Until you came along. You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world.
So it's not communism. It's just white saviorism.
You
It's
alone,
Stalinism.
against every living thing. against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers. Million-headed armies of nations and the love of your own mother. You against the atom, the charm and the spin. Where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will fail. Now get to work, comrade.
What the hell? More of these? Political alignment is a game mechanic. Communism, fascism, moralism, and ultra-liberal. After 4 points have been earned in one of the given options, one of his skills will prompt a conversation through applicable thought order you're opted into. Earn a related political thought on the night special vision quests. Okay. Multiple alignments can be pursued and opted into, but only one vision quest may be chosen. So we got communism. Communism is crushed by the moralists. So fascism is probably the bad one. Baddest and unabashed, they're fascists, they're traditionalists, they're nationalists, angry because they're fascists. Oh, Jesus. Most of the draw here is, of course, that pretty girls don't want to sleep with you. They don't explain why that happened. Fascism does. Communists push the king under a streetcar, and now nothing in the world telling you are beautiful. During your stay, 20 women tell you no. So naturally, most people will pick this one. Who doesn't want absolutely giant fascists? Their steam achievements. It goes really well with alcoholism. Jesus Christ, in this game! Moralism is, something normal, right? Is a simple idea, you want to do good for everyone. And after saying no, I want to go something about regular consequential and anything kind of detective. And then ultra-liberal, grind, and hustle. Yeah, so all of these are terrible, basically. Which I feel like is intentional. Also, you get real communists, or shot by, as Mazov himself would say, capitalist bootleggers. The left wing is now led by moderate social democrats and socialists. Ideologies are presented by student book clubs and old economic officers. Only 0% of communism has been built, but who knows, maybe with your help it'll be 0.001%. Sure.
Oh yeah. Get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready.
You didn't say anything about firing
Too
squads.
late to back out now. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few million eggs.
Roll up your sleeves further and breathe in the pristine air. Jesus Christ. Thought gained socioeconomics. Mazavian. People think communism had it 40 years ago. They returned again. They were right until he woke up today. The spiritual corpse responsible at the call of Commodore Red, prostitutes, and cries Mazov. Communism is still a thing. He will single-handedly raise the commune in 02 from the oceanic trench where it has been resting covered in ghosts and seaweed. The big communism builder. Come witness his attempt to rebuild communism in the year 51. A temporary research bonus. -2 visual calculus. So this is like 3 hours. Well, this is a game. Let's see here. End of debrief. After 10, okay, we have time still. And then this is, I can go to interact with.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friso. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover. Because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism. They represent a society in accord with the natural world and, at the same time, above it.
Why Frieza?
Because Frieza was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see.
Okay.
To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your
Time's
attention.
still passing while I read this, because of course.
Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white. After rifling the pages, the magazine is divided into several sections. International Development
no.
Comrade. As you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going a la fume. Unlike only 4 issues in, and it sounds like they've already. So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international, you flip back to the front of the magazine. This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the face it, you really aren't interested. You flip back to the front of the. It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you why they decided to title this one section. It evokes a sense of recognition, and as you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tourney, a critical Mazovian perspective. The Tip Top Tourney is an inter-Isolari racing series, mostly known for its high speeds, ludicrous sponsorship deals, and high death toll. In Revachol, it's held quadrennially on the prestigious Zero Carousel racing circuit. This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A. You think you're settling in for, instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000. Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsor, all of it, basically. Oddly enough, this article has, there's no way those are real. Have you ever met anyone named Exilus? Come on, they're plainly pseudonyms. Under capitalism, the article says, thus, the so-called tourney become, and that precisely is what's problematic. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750. You see, one cannot avoid the conclusion that Tip Top Tourney is simply the apotheosis.
Oh, come on. Can this article read your mind? A certain kind of young man reads 1 or 2 books. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red. Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside Apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
Earning wages to live somewhere is pretty outrageous.
The writer G. Martin remarks dryly that capitalists love wealth redistribution, so long as it's only redistributed upward.
I mean, yeah.
It's true. The rentiers have been bleeding you dry. You flip back to the front of.
Okay, that was a lot.
The Greatest Innocence by Jacques. Browsing through the various chapters, your educational survey is done. Did you catch?
Sure.
That's the spirit. Oh yeah, this is what I was made for.
Alright, give me
A
all
pop
that.
quiz is a short examination designed to test your knowledge without any prior warning or incorrect. Dolores Day was the Innocence. Her colors are silver, white, and apricot. Steer clear of this one. There's something terrible. A strange sensation of loss. When she left the Earth, the dust... Yes, the quiz is impersonal. No need to rouse. It's incorrect. Sola resigned after an assassination attempt by a Yugo nationalist who blamed her for not taking this. Correct. Nothing much is known about him. It's not even clear that he was a he, but Franco Negro presumed as such and called him Pius. He's depicted as the first innocence. He declared that this should be question 2. Easy. Everybody knows the answer to this. You, me, anybody. Incorrect. Vespa Messina is not a person. Incorrect again. While even though the words most associated, please, relax. Correct. Named the innocence of militarism. He codified hereditary rule. But Franco Negro attempted to solve the rising tensions between... Question 3. Got it under control. No problem. Correct. There have been a number of counter or false innocences. The most famous and important of these was Ernau Pasternak. Final stretch. You've come so far and learned so much. I've got it. Honest. Correct. The Mesk might see Franco Negro as the father of nations, but as of this century, there's been a great shift in attitude. Dolores Day has become widely regarded as the greatest innocence. A most radical change to the whole fabric of the world. Everything from Inter y Soler. Congratulations on finishing a D. Not particularly. You would have done better if you just left Dolores Day for the end.
What's going on with you? Okay.
You are shouting at an inanimate object.
Well, yeah, because it didn't give me any answers first, so I had to guess all of them. Well, that was a waste of time and money. Can I sell the book back? Oh, wait, I never looked at that other doorway.
You see a set of
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. This is a traditional Seminese ward, meant to provide protection against ill luck. Inhabitants of Ile de Fantôme. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time.
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the book.
She speaks almost as if she's trying. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become.
Yeah.
Just as you're about to pull apart the...
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's awfully... Parapsychologically speaking, we're dumb if you decide to...
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal
Okay,
people?
so this place is calling for me. I must investigate beyond the threshold.
You do? My God. Even more reasons not to mess with the curtains.
I
Just
don't
step
care, you
away,
can sell me,
dear.
I'll open
No. Please just talk to me, officer. Come.
Talking is always good. There is something mysterious about the curtains. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Seminese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
I warned you. You're on leave.
Yeah, I don't like that woman, so I'm gonna find out what she did. Just see silhouettes of hair dryers, vaguely androgynous portrait of a man.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not
yeah,
hundreds,
why do I feel
of
like
Seminese
this is a bad
trinkets
one?
and charms. It appears to be locked. Only an echo. No one is there.
Yeah, this is not my... This is not... Hi, did I piss you off enough?
I wasn't kidding when I said we're parapsychologically done. You clearly don't care about the consequences. Who gives you the right?
I detected psychic emanation from within. I was compelled to investigate.
Don't expect my help from now on. The back door is locked, and I threw away. Do look at the books, though. The books compel you.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't like that person anyway, so it's fine.
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
Put points into suggestion to open this lock. I forget, do I have any points I can use? I have a level up, so I could continue to try to talk to her. Where am I going right now? That is actually a question. Find out who's in the union box. Inspect the body. We need to do something. Need to pay for the damages. Ask for money, carefully you're spending, and ensure how much you owe. Ask for it. Find the plastic is safe. Okay. Give me the call. Explore the secret passages. Sing karaoke. Open the apartment door forever. The door is in the greenhouse. Behind the greenhouse in the yard basement door. This game does not feel like a game you should leave out for 2 months and not come back to. This feels like a bad game to come back to after 2 months.
This Postlavantorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito. A closer inspection reveals 2 bullet.
Good delivery box.
The box seems happy. Eat shit pig, fucked by the coon, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox also.
Been there, then post the eventual mailbox collection box.
The mail collection box seems cathartic, thankful even. So do you. You shudder. Then you swallow.
I'll take a morale heal. That's not the worst thing I've got today. I know another person I can talk to.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, all right?
The other one's eating a big sandwich.
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball. No, you've got this. There's the ball. You're the game.
Well, I showed him how it's done.
You are immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight. No matter, you'll make it work. A chilly breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. All sounds, smells, even the wind, everything fades until the only thing left is the union of man and ball.
You want food?
Merde! Bordel de merde!
A whorehouse of shit? It wasn't whorehouse of shit. The shot was at least 23 meters, probably 24, and
What the hell is your problem?
That's not how the game works.
I don't care if you are a cop. You do not just ruin someone's game. It's so goddamn disrespectful. You vandalized our game, son. We can't play pétanque with 5 pool.
I thought there was shot put.
Well, it damn well isn't. It's pétanque.
Take it easy, René.
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. You are as a goddamn good. Mistakes are forgiven.
yes, why did you come here? You never know. He might know something. This is a good vantage point.
Renee, I found your garbage.
Yes, The Debardeurs union pays me to stand vigil during the nights. Not out of any political allegiance,
Oh, they're
mind
back. I
you.
gotta feed the kitty. Kitty is the system, so they gotta feed the kitty.
I'm an old man. Don't sleep more than a few hours every night anyway, and money is tight.
This isn't something like the murder. You put those right in the yard.
Yes, it does. Unfortunately, I wasn't working that night. Been on a 2-week leave since last Monday.
So who was working your shift that night?
No one. The boss has been unmanned since last Monday. There's no other guard. It's just me.
He suddenly looks very old and tired.
No one has been guarding the container yard since last Monday.
Yes. It's not actually an issue. I mean...
Look, officers. The container yard doesn't actually need a guardsman. Never had one before René. Monsieur Claire had that booth built specially for him. It's mostly decorative.
The possibility of someone being in there is enough to discourage any ill-minded individuals.
Evrard created this job for René because he knows the Royal Carabinier's pension of honor and PTSD isn't something a man can live off. A decorated Kingsman collecting tear reflects bad on the whole neighborhood. His words.
René's but one man. We need a program to all go back from... No.
Look, officer, can we conclude the topic of my guard booth now?
I saw a picture in there. You were in it. Who's the girl?
She is nobody. This is none of your concern, and I refuse to discuss my private affairs with the RCM.
That's fair.
The lady is Jeanne-Marie Beaulieu, and she sure as hell wasn't a nobody.
Got it, thanks.
Yes. Like I said, I would be up anyway, so might as well keep an eye out. It keeps my senses sharp.
Nothing about the man hanging in the backyard.
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by completely.
And most of the locals?
In Martinez, the union is the law. So can you really blame them?
But you don't have a problem with cops?
Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire the effort to bring order to our streets.
There's only a couple of them.
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply don't. I am an old man, not a coward. The daily business of the riffraff no longer concerns me.
"'Tis true, sire. He knows nothing."
I saw the statue of Philippe III at the roundabout.
Ah, yes! King Philip III, on his steed. A reminder of what Revachol once was.
Royal Guard.
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who emptied the treasury so he could sleep on a bed of gold.
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king. Someone who knows how to rule.
How should a true king rule?
Decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood.
Seems to me like a leader should take care of his people first.
Elysium is only as strong as its leader. That's why it was such madness to try.
Don't get started on that again. What happened, happened.
Some awareness in his voice now. He's said this right many times before.
The carabinier doesn't reply, but
Was that
is
about
in.
the game?
Oh, old Philip was a big fan of the purple nose candy the nobility loved so much. A cocaine connoisseur of sorts. His egocentricity is borderline legendary.
You can't even take responsibility for yourself. How could you fathom the responsibility weighing on the shoulders of a ruler? That's why the Philippian kings use cocaine, for clarity of vision, to aid in their work. Regnum cocainum, Revachol's finest years.
He seems to grow taller, bringing a pride about
Of
the
course. Clarity of vision. Awareness.
Philip III was even brought into this world with the help of cocaine. The court made him administer the dose to his mother when she was in labor, and it is well known that with the help of cocaine, only the purest, of course, he was able to connect with higher realms.
Higher realms. Of course,
our character would be
it
like
all
his
makes.
friends.
He's just making excuses for the king's habits, isn't he?
Sounds like irresponsible behavior for a monarch. Drug users shouldn't even operate heavy machinery unless first world countries.
From what I've seen of the officers of the ACAB, but I don't want to get into a debate about drug policies. Right.
Seem to be playing
Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game.
Do you know who created it?
I do. Fire from heavy artillery.
Why?
Why what?
Why was it used?
Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home.
Did you?
Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. So valiantly we got
Very
licked.
sad he didn't get to help shoot his countrymen.
Should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs. We didn't though, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough.
It was probably a bit more complicated than that.
Why show them here in Mount
Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies up first. Yes, the military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol. Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta.
Deathblow sounds grim.
This here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we're playing pétanque on their mangled corpses.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
Hold on, the coalition?
Don't get me wrong, officer. I hate those foreign dogs, but the enemy of my enemy and all that. They're the lesser evil. Damn right, son. They let the fire. The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party never surrendered. Of course they still hold influence.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players at the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... What do you think?
Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one.
So it should be self-socialist paving the way for the hard-working class.
Preposterous! Surely you don't mean it. I'm just sorry it had to be them. After 8 years of fighting those commie hyenas, boiling cats for food and drinking my piss in the mountains, I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned through Revachol, or even if that damn clan Frisell had risen from the grave and led us. Sadly, that was not the case. Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere. Foreign influence peddling garbage and stupid music on the radio. This is just what the commies wanted. This was their plan all along. This is what they wanted to reap. Damn Frisell. He was the king we couldn't protect.
He slouches as he says that. It makes him smaller, admitting they left the king to the mob.
A true king in both blood and mind. Let Revachol...
Some manner of self-deceit is present in his thinking. Sounds like this.
Suzerain is the king! As everyone... It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the Fifth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire.
Yeah, this ain't happening.
All you observe is a veteran refusing to let go of the past.
This is the uniform of the Royal Carabineers in...
Don't you mean Frisell the fan?
You do not speak his name, Craven, although he was a clown. But he was our clown, ours to ridicule and to mourn.
There's something you missed. You will get to it. Don't worry.
I love how playing a crater game is the most input. Thank you for your time. That was way more enlightening than I expected. Quite not for a viewer than banged up enough. Tools really are real man. Crack the pavements. Map. Hangman is here.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently. A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onuk, written on the other side, with N and C. That's Kuno on the lens. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast, studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts. Lanky, weather-worn. You know this to be the Star of Pericarnassus, or the Cairo. The central symbol of the Pericarnassus. The church looks old and weather-worn. Around the large wooden building, you see chunks of sea ice.
Probably some kids.
A simple but clever. The metal feels cold and wet.
Postcard, photo copy color, and postcard again. I don't have it.
Whoa. What have we here?
A bridge?
A bridge with loose nails and rot-infested wood that creaks in the wind. A construction code violation if there ever was one.
Whatever. That come out of balance.
The streets will flow red once more, a great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
Girl stares at the step up above the pier.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Start with the build type and go from
Go
there.
where?
Listen to your partner, pig man. Keep your grubby hooves off little old ladies.
Looking out to the side, where's you looking at?
The lieutenant furrows his brow at another one of your eccentricisms.
You know, it's the same place as the one performing maintenance on the boat next to the pier.
Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her.
That Ozon whore. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Ozon is an archipelago 2 days' travel away from Rivershore. Its moneyed residents, used to posh restaurants and upscale boutiques, rarely have reason to visit Martinez.
Who is she?
Probably the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing. You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your...
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch. I ain't no snitch. Pigsty.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
I mean, fair point.
Can't you tell? I'm paid. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
You don't know what to write?
Have you ever tried your hand at graffiti-o? When faced with a blank wall, we rarely see pigs round here, though.
On this.
Just union cards. And my name's not Mona, so yeah?
I love public art.
Thanks. I'm
She means the opposite.
Watch your back, ungulate.
No, she
Why does art inspire you so much?
does, yes, but what is art?
Excellent question. Art is a diverse range of visual, literary, auditory, and performative creativity. It's an expression of imagination and technical skill. Additionally, it's history, criticism, and pure enjoyment. In short, art is the highest form of human communication, representation, narrative, emotion, and agency intertwined.
Would I fit in the art world? I mean...
Have you looked in the mirror lately? You have the exact features of a savage art critic, with that beard and those clothes. Disheveled and prophetic.
Architecture's
Of
also
course not. It's autism, box drawing, masturbation with a ruler and a sextant or whatever they use.
art. Oh, well,
Use
music.
only the most experimental kind.
Because I have been feeling critical lately.
Yes, you seek substance. No vapid representations and reproductions of social mores
Don't I have to
as
be
made
100%
manifest
cop to
in
get
stuffy biennials.
50%.
We're talking real, living art here.
50%.
Become the... Quit being so indecisive. What are you going for here? Some kind of indecisive end. Exactly. It's not only your duty to only catch the criminals off the street. You must go ahead and provide
What is yours to rip into pieces? Oh dear. Oh hey look, it's +1 to suggestions. Sometimes. So I can't have enough shirts. Inside apartments. Okay, now I can do actual art degree. Temporary research bonus, can't even look at this.
sturdy metal door. The door rattles against your knuckle. The door rattles again.
Stop banging on the door. I'm not letting any more strangers inside. Doesn't matter who I am. The police? Everyone knows the police don't. No. I'll go check the backyard door.
Backyard door? There must be another entrance to the east.
Yeah, cool. Looks like there's more construction in here. One second. Talk to that old woman. Are you? Yeah. Good drugs. Docking reserved for residents of the place.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat.
Good evening, officers. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
What exactly is the RCM? I remember hearing it from somewhere.
I meant you, the Revachol Citizens Militia, the police.
What gave us away?
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Relax. She meant it in jest.
What does the L stand for?
Beaton, my maiden name.
Don't shake your hand.
I'm glad to see you here.
I'm in the lieutenant exchange of brief.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can...
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on these...
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
You seem rich. Can I have some money?
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy, is it?
What? Why not?
Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub.
A nice fabric.
Why, yes. Tucked away under that sturdy, while dull orange pearls hang from. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say everything is possible within reason. Now look at you. You misery-clad simian. Barely able to tie your own laces.
Wow.
Your armpits are lace.
Steve hates that.
A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead, and your underwear feels uncomfortable. You're poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money.
Goddamn working man,
You're
not trying
too-
to shake this leash for some dough.
You think your little communism protects you from this feeling? No.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please
Can
don't
I
hesitate
increase
to
my
ask.
volition in any way?
Of course, Detective.
Do I have anything that increases volition? Probably not. This is suggestion. And then tools, items, no, we do anything. Okay, so we got volition.
You're back. Good.
Voila, you're doing it.
You seem rich. Can I have some money?
Why, yes, I am rich.
She's surprisingly nonchalant about this. Could it be that she somehow knows more about your
I need
predicament?
130
That's a
real.
good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
She reaches into her raincoat and pulls out a zip bag. In it, you see paper notes arranged like black
She
hills.
removes a few notes and hands them to you. The paper is cold
Success.
and oily to the touch.
So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still.
I'm an honorable policeman, one of the few good men in Rabbitshire. I'm still getting my head around this whole money concept. You were just helping me out.
You're right, ma'am, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, and seemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with a pre...
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help the RCM today,
You're on,
besides supplementing its salaries?
you're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get
Wait, we're on
around?
an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are...
Technically, the neighboring Ozone and Fas Alamer island groups are archipelagos, while La Caillou by contrast, is a single fertile landmass.
Okay, if you want to get technical, the point is we're all on islands here, and sail is still the most expedient way to get from one island to another, especially when you're in a hurry to resolve a strike.
Still, I haven't seen a best of
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Ravachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for...
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat, because before you do, it will be pertinent to ask other questions. Gather more info on this boat of hers.
She have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati, 19, but it's a pleasure craft. A 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. It's a pleasure craft. A 19... My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with...
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
You have a license for this boat.
Officer,
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer
Let's talk
Act,
about the economics
a
of
law
this
that...
boat.
Oh my. The E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption? That I'm a member of the ruling class?
Precise mundo, class wartime,
Detective,
baby.
may I remind you that Mrs. Messier is a professional negotiator.
Then what does that say? Does it say 33A? This old proletarian haunt here?
Mother Revelation
As I
is the
said,
eel's heels.
plenty of people drive...
Your synapses flesh.
Funny, I don't see any other eel's heels around here.
You mean eel's hips. But point taken. I am a bourgeois woman, and this is my fast, light, interminably bourgeois boat.
Think I'd handle
Good.
the boat thing. Tell me about Wild Pines. What do you do?
What we do. I'm afraid
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely
the Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking, and that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king. Saint-Baptiste, Elysium, an unknown entity.
Why, thank you.
She does not recognize the name anymore. How much is it?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can
That's
tell you
it?
that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
That's it? I thought Wild Pines was supposed to be big time.
And to think, there are years when the group books losses in the billions. Walpines employs 72,000 people, all of whom have families that depend on their salaries. It
Where do
is,
they get all
they
these
started
billions?
as an exploration and cargo. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness
Oh, they have
have
to
gone
start
into
out
this
with all
endeavor.
that.
You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribes
What
have
if it's a huge
failed
system
or
all
been
in place like
absorbed.
this?
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's
People more than the
cargo?
workers do. The company's
We
nothing
built
without
this
them.
district,
We. There it is. She owns up to...
all the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions, the plazas Meteor and Mosaic. Even some of the old street lamps have been put back thanks to the investments from before Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbour, even before it was part of Revachol, a company getaway, for a weekend or a summer holiday. Then came the revolution.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
Yeah.
This reality.
She pulls it close enough.
Yes, reality is your side case. An experimental side case.
I'm conducting a personal investigation of the world I find myself in.
How truly curious. A sort of philosopher detective.
My theory is that this inquiry into the nature of reality will ultimately converge to the murder investigation.
Are they now?
They really are one of the same.
A deep synthesis.
Alright, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first,
Impossible.
okay?
Where are we?
We're in Martinez. Baby,
What does that
Martinez is a district of Revachol. You would be excused for not knowing about it. I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. But as I told you, Martinez used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its part. Now the reeds are the real... It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean. Yes. We're on an island in an ocean. The world...
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the blue immensities, vast, lukewarm, and unknowable.
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her and to humanity at large.
So that's what's
Revachol, the great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism.
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries. The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile Marat, depending on your... In the DeLorean century.
Well, it was all
They
this-
say it's where the terrible questions of our time... By that I mean, we are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So we're in an unimportant part of an important
I think
place.
it's fair to say so. 22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom.
Silence. The water, the light. There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it. She observes your eyes scanning the horizon,
Thought game.
then breaks the silence, slowly. This is one thought you need to complete.
Was there something else you wanted to...
This has been informative. Thank you, man. I'm sure my memory in
Even
Black
more
Water
by
has
myself.
many... Might I suggest not asking them all right now?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
You're right, I'll continue later.
It's better not to eat all...
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
Derealization. 3.5 hours. Okay, yeah, so... Factual memory returns. Yeah, I'll keep working on this. And then I will move over to that. And then there's this, and then there's that. So we'll just go in order from bottom to top. You may reach right.
6 kilometers southwest
Jeez.
in the valley
Pull
of
out
Gods,
the legendary.
Junior Officer Chad Tilbrook takes aim at a rabid black dog licking its wounds in the grass. To his left, his partner, Emil Mullins, whispers, "You heard what happened to Tequila Sunset in Martinez?" "Yes, he lost his mind," Tilbrook answers, fingers on the trigger. "Don't worry, Emil." He pulls it out slowly. Slowly now. He'll find it again. We always do.
What am I?
You? You're an officer of the RCM. Preciso Mundo.
And what are they?
Nothing more nor less than the de facto law enforcement.
Yes, we are the Revachols.
He's being sarcastic.
The de facto.
Yes, that means not de jure. The RCM acts in what is poetically called. The RCM's responsibilities are defined by the Emergency, Wayfarer, and Aliments Act.
All three are good to know when we are out policing.
So I'm basically a lackey of capital.
There's nothing basic about your role, Detective. It's true that the RCM keeps everything the way our seemingly permanent provisional rulers like it. Yet, on the other hand, I know these people. The post-revolutionary decade was a disaster for the coalition government. Revachol in the 20s was hell, especially on the west side of the river. Gang warfare, a botched privatization scheme, a nuclear pile meltdown. They called it the International Zone because no nation wanted to claim responsibility. The RCM restored peace where the coalition failed. A true blue citizens' initiative. They will never forgive.
That's somewhat of an exaggeration. In reality, ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement. Revacholians get to keep the peace in Revachol, and the coalition doesn't have to worry about it.
Yes, Lieutenant. Permit me to conclude with this. Who you are, to me, is the police. The only legitimate law enforcement authority in Revachol. And if the law officials of our nation need help with the basic terms of reality, well, then I'm here to help. What I am not is a...
There may be a way to get her speaking about herself at some later juncture.
Nothing more nor less.
Yes, he's being sarcastic.
We are.
Yes, that means not. Permit me to conclude with this. And if the law officials of our nation need help, glad to have been of assistance. The little that everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
What if I know anything about trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments. That gives me the right to science.
Octopus?
It's quite the octopus.
Slay it.
Good luck is only kept in place by the vested interests of...
What the ma'am means is that the Emergencies Act and...
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about... I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator.
No way. She's more. She can...
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Oh, you mean Measurehead?
Yes. Jean-Luc Measurehead.
How are the talks going before the
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress...
And when did you first arrive?
Interesting. So now they're using fake words to get past answers. It appears this lesson to done as well. Fascinating. So I don't know what it is. Oh no. There you go. Moderation. And suspended or does not exist. Solves that.
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss.
This isn't the first time the...
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan.
No.
This time their demands are more, I guess...
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
What are their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere. Every worker, a member...
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
Seems like they have no idea about
In
business.
its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker a member of the board.
What does that even mean?
It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what? About anything, really, it needs the signature. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the... That may well be. It's not up to me to... I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the...
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
What happened to Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Not.
Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before,
Fuck
and
off,
who was
sir.
more than
Midget?
fair with him
No,
and the
not
union.
allowed. Keep your A-boys off of it.
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, if they were organized by Wild Pines? Or...
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you... He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
There are two of them?
Yes. Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that late... It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled... The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway.
So,
it must not have been
kind of
easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened.
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but and your opinion, detective, if I may ask. I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
I mean, I think that they're fairly effective, but also I think that they're scum. Can't I just say that the people in charge seem kind of scummy? Or kind of mischievous, and then but I have no problem with the union itself? Definitely not a giant leech, not a socialist mob. I'm curious what these answers are meant by. I'm assuming that's just the wiki has dialogue for options.
Why do you think so?
Good, correction.
A real man of the left. What else can I tell you about?
One more thing, is that something happened in the
I'm
elections?
glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
An extortion problem.
Indeed. The company suspects the point of the presentation is...
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just...
Of course. How else can I help?
By the way, I've talked to
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare? Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How... Corruption. That's how he's done it.
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect a...
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not... How could I stop you?
Intellectually speaking, it would be quite interesting to hear what she has to say about these things.
Yeah. Helped him turn up the heat on the borscht.
Did you now? What sort of borscht is he making? The strike brew. That's a classic.
Yes.
And why, if I may ask?
Yes, detective. What were you hoping to accomplish with this strange thing?
To make the prostate.
Very curious.
Truly. But that's how he operates. He just does things, man. And then talks about them, even if it's inappropriate.
Yeah, that's
What
me.
else? Of course, Detective. Until then, is there anything Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my...
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41.
Oh, and what happened?
'Twas stolen by some artist, surely. Best to pin the blame on them. Everyone knows you can't trust artists.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
It's possible.
Oh dear. I suppose this does explain some of the more curious turns in our conversation.
True that.
She must have been suspecting something for a while now.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen...
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually... favors for favors. A dirty alliance of some sort. Consider this. Perhaps she has been planning it all along. Easy. Just offer her a favor, like a...
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Or, you can recover your badge.
Detective, a word... This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective. Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep... This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced bag.
Maybe this is all her plan. She might have heard about you.
I wouldn't go that far. Her reaction did come off as sincere to me. I think she's just quick to adapt. She's a professional, after all. Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time?
The situation might have changed drastically.
You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months. No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand for her information on the lynching.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's...
Ingredients for what?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make. Yes. After they clear the terminal...
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am.
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the... Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the doc...
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
Unlikely, officer. I'm talking about the lorries. Once the ingredients reach Jamrock...
How convenient that they're stranded like beached whales at...
Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the round... I'll be explicit. If you
Uncovering Union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them.
We did. On more than one occasion.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union cell.
Well, here's your chance, officers. The two
Or not. Though, if you have...
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is done. No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. This is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, thousands of litres of raw ingredients will...
Well, At least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wandered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. How do you think they're financing this strike?
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few precisely. Smuggled out of that, yes? Excellent. According to my report, it may come to nothing, or in the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
That's all for now. That went well.
Yes?
Nothing. I need to find a bull. She has info and browsing Elysium, right? If I had to guess, by the time I get back over here, I don't know where it is, so I'm gonna actually cheat a bit, only because if I'd been playing the game properly, I would know where the hell I was going. So I'm gonna quickly do a save, so that if I get completely lost, I can find my way back relatively easily.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Dimming lights and they become clear, kinesthetic sense, and these artistic impulses are infectious.
Because this is no ordinary wall. It is, so all the other walls on all the other houses must make a... Oh, wall father.
Oh, thanks. Must paint this wall.
Huh?
He sounds tired. Cindy the Skull has all the necessary materials. Talk to her.
Must have to Cindy.
If you must.
Add more beauty to the wall.
Hello again, officers.
It's a bait.
What for?
I'm doing renovation and for Vars.
Well, if it's for art, but what kind of art are we talking about?
Honest, I haven't really thought of anything.
Then you have time to find your own fucking brush.
Cool, no brush then, no problem.
You're about to cry internally, aren't you, Piggy? Oh, pathetic. Just give up.
That
Art
shit
isn't...
cannot be retried. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Another playthrough of Fiction Trash. This is not. So it's close for now. That's the same. Oh, yeah, right. How is there no map here? Of all the places, this is where their map should be. Horseback Monument. How do I get back? Oh, I could go. Let's see if there's anyone I can talk to.
Hello again, my man. What's on your mind?
Knows about drugs.
Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves of my own consciousness, you know? But those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man?
I need to find out his son.
We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from the harbor to load it on their lorry and drive it to Jamrock.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. Gotta guard the stuff. Bosses don't...
A rhymesmith. This is quite credible. It goes with its cadence and way of speaking.
Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal...
We wouldn't say he's lying, sire.
He's a poet. Hit him with your best verse.
Wait. There's something here. stored away in some dusty corner. It starts like...
A mirror's temperature is always 0. It is ice in the veins, its camera impacts.
Whoa. What else?
This chalice held out to you in silent communion.
Silent communion. That's good.
Where gaspingly you partake of a shifting identity never your own.
Dang. That's some great shit. You came up with that yourself.
Or did you learn it in school? More importantly, who can prove if you did? Go with it. You deserve some acclaim.
I'm just a vessel for the muse.
Right. But really, no bullshit. That's great stuff. I sort of want to know if it's yours.
I think there was a mine, yes.
Fucking hey. Seems I got you all wrong. Cops aren't much known for their artistic sensibilities these days. It's good to meet a fellow poet. Someone with an appreciation for real text. The others here, so you don't really get it.
Makes it all easier to bear if there was...
I get you. When they really click, it makes the world seem manageable. Good to be on the same page.
You found some common ground with this man. Even impressed him. The next time you look in the mirror, though, remember those words.
Put some empathy to open this way check. Well, I've got like 2 level ups available I can use. Why not put a little bit into empathy? I feel like that's something I would totally do at this point. Oh, formidable. I thought it was a 3. Oh, 3 is what I got last time. Empathy. Oh, 3 is how much empathy I have. Got it. Do I have any equipment that increases my empathy? Probably not. Endurance, core, suggestion. Which one am I currently wearing? This. Core and shivers. Suggestion. Body take control, threaten people. Which is why I have like nothing in it. Me and my amazing one physique.
Make way for the master poet.
In his eyes, an unfamiliar longing. Flecks of brown and gold.
Familiar.
It's hard to say. His gaze wanders southwest, down the street that goes beyond the horizon.
To the southwest.
Excuse me?
A flinch jolts his frame. The question has touched a nerve.
I got a longing. I felt something similar since I
Man, I don't know what to say. Not much anyone can do. There's no helping in absence, you know. I miss my family. They're all I have. My wife, second kid on the way. Waiting all the way in Diora. And here I am stuck in this shit, so far from home.
What's it like to miss?
What's it like? Good. And bad. An ache that brings you joy. I think of them a lot. I dream up these silly scenarios in great detail of living with them. It comforts me. What about you, cop man? You missing someone?
Is that what it is? This feeling?
I miss someone, but I don't know who it is.
I feel for you, my friend. It's bad enough to know who you miss. Missing like that doesn't feel like it has much of an upside. But, thanks for this. It's nice to talk to someone, and I know it wasn't easy to ask. I hope you find your way through your own troubles.
It's all from now by. This path is just not worth trying to do.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward, even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous Philip was known for his profligacy. Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy. During the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line and the monarchy on the Insulindian Isola.
How did he managed to blow through the entire national
Stories
treasury.
have it that he had his bedroom converted into a trap. He called it the Sol Auron. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese... But wait, you haven't even heard about his fable.
What?
You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry. His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay. The original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of... Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have... Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought the statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of shit. People in Martinaise tend to disagree, as do many prominent Philip III, the squanderer, however, not that he ever did in life either.
Yeah, that's fair. He was a piece of shit in life as he is now.
Astars Raiko, one of the finest Zhimsk made not many people outside of Grad.
Estache Raiko KK2. That's a classic model. Never thought I'd see another one repainted after what happened last time.
No, only that the motor carriage is typically baby blue, the colors of Sigismund the Great.
An old case for my precinct. A couple of Jim's migrants saw Estache Raiko stopped in the street. They said it was an honor killing, Hussar style. The Jim's community protested the trial, flying the banners of some old king or whatever.
Correction, 4,395. The fourth largest public protest of a criminal trial in Revachol.
When they sentenced the killers to
4 years for murder. The perps were remorseful. Their sorry knocked 8 years.
The prisons in the greater Revachol industrial harbor are already full. Prisoners are expensive to maintain.
I try to avoid drawing far-gone conclusions like this before actually examining the body. But my initial guess is people we are paid to protect. Let's leave it at... Yes, detective?
it looks better gray and black.
Okay. I'm not going to honor kill anyone over this. But I've seen it blue and white.
Fair enough. Be here all night. The drivers don't seem to be here, probably because it's late.
We should think about calling it a day, maybe. You should take care of that, then. I'll also take a room at the Whirling. One can...
He's proud of you for getting your act together.
Yeah, I get a mag right together. You mean pulling off 2 successful checks in a row and then convincing a rich woman to give me money.
The theme on that pinball machine is a standard royalist theme, clinging to a picture book version of the past century, waiting for the king to come back and cast out all the profiteers and homosexuals. Basically, the sentiment is called anti-centennial nostalgia.
Can I help you? Yes. Have you got it?
Yeah.
Well?
Here it is.
Great. Thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in I'll unlock the electronic lock to your room. All the doors lock automatically at 9 p.m. Please pay for each night in advance, staff.
I'll take a room here, too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Your body is ready, sire.
God, it's a terrible idea for me to sing karaoke, and I definitely should not. I love these, like, I've had a question, and I'm like, is that the question?
Yes? Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation.
Work together if we have a little more rapport.
That's a fair point. All right, for the good of the investigation, what do you want to know?
Do you ever talk with yourself?
What do you mean?
You know, when you're thinking, you have a conversation with your
I
brain.
have no idea.
The lieutenant's conceptualization skills must be rather rudimentary. The lieutenant is a police officer of the old school. His concerns are material, but this isn't an old school case.
He never just chimes in with advice or whatever.
I can't say that it does, no.
The lieutenant produces his small... That's where his conversation... We all have our different mediums.
That's because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. My father's father was... It's a part of the world, officer.
Seo is a protectionist, isolationist, pan-Isolari state west of the Insulindian Isola.
You're barking up the wrong tree. I don't speak a word of Seolite.
A point of pride to him.
Interesting. Let me see
No.
yourself. Oh.
The lieutenant nods.
That's correct.
You feel a slight urge to put the lieutenant down for this. But you can't quite muster enough testosterone.
Why would I? Wow, no. No, I don't.
Are they?
You could use a good, normal peer yourself.
Fireworks, it's the wrong
Good.
weekend.
Let's change the subject.
Okay, hang on. So I have a quest that's like end of day debrief. Join him in the balcony after 2 o'clock when you're calling it a day. This is the balcony, right? No, this is the balcony. Smell of the sea makes you dizzy.
Yes? What do you want to know? Good.
On the Whirling Rocks balcony after 2 p.m. 10 p.m. And return and ask him to speak. Okay, as he goes to return to his room. Okay, cool. Wrong button. I saw a notification for bathroom. Didn't have a chance to read it.
This is the door to the room.
Just a moment. You had some questions earlier, I believe.
Alright, let's go. The room I redecorated.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then,
Where shall we begin? We should talk about the investigation, first and foremost. But I also remember you wanting to discuss the RCM? I have a cigarette every night when I go.
oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
You mean this? This is...
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself. Yet, were he to quit, he would lose the cool factor.
Yes. It's been a long and eventful day.
How do you think they went?
Well, you were so hungover that you couldn't keep it down when we approached the hangman. So we didn't even inspect the body. And there's still much to do at the crime scene too.
He would have put all of this more harshly, but he doesn't want you to feel completely discouraged. Probably because he's afraid that you'll just give up.
We are both doing our best under the circumstances. We conducted an interview with Everard Clare. He wasn't particularly forthcoming.
He's not saying much on the matter because he thinks you could have gotten more out of Everard.
Claire also helped you, how should I say, remember your name? That's a relief. You can look into the process. We tried to interview the Wild Palms rep. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is.
If Kim is emphasizing something...
Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard person practice?
I don't like wasting time, you know? I'm not as fast. They're essentially keep up.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those...
So the game's like, you run a lot, I'm gonna mock you for it, but not by
Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
Sort of bad is that.
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule. Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine. We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station closely. It prevents confusion and over. We are permitted to use whatever force we deem necessary, even lethal. That's an improbability, perhaps even impossibility. Precinct 41 is known for higher than average rate of police violence. Yes.
He says it matter of fact. He has internalized it well. It's just that.
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Courant and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them. And the moral intern, more broadly, but yes. The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed. Okay. There are a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ACP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world. What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago.
Those others say they continue the humanist project set forth by Dolores Day.
What is their symbol?
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Something kind and usual. Something something ominous.
True facts. Well, who was
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to. The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until it...
It is more than that. There's some kind of effect.
Yes, I did, when I was younger. In my 20s, I considered myself a moralist.
That's another leitmotif associated.
But the years have changed that. I don't know what I believe in now. No, I believe in the RCM. That's enough for me.
I have an opinion.
Do you?
Because of course you do. The Stooges are the biggest bourgeois organization protecting
No,
rights.
we are stooges of the world's biggest bourgeois organization, protecting the people of Revachol. That's the hand we were dealt. Without the MI, we would be common vigilantes. Spoken like a revolutionary, not a cop. But hypothetical aside, in Martinez we already are vigilantes. At least the Union thinks so. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging.
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks. An aerostatic passes overhead. The whisk...
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different in land, in Jamrock and the GRIH. It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs. to the union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. This place has fallen between the cracks, the jurisdictions of our 2 precincts.
And then jam mark on the griff.
We run this city. West of the river is RCM land.
Looks at the dark silhouette of the equestrian monument cutting in the
It's
sky.
incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works. Our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate.
Hope investigation will help for the situation here. Let's do something.
Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes.
Ain't that a mood?
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
Pulls out the stub of a cigarette and looks at the door.
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your Copo type.
Wait, there are couples?
Yes. Guess what's yours?
Sorry, guy? I'm sorry you had to monitor me.
Okay, just for the length of this short demonstration, please say something that isn't, I'm sorry. Guess. What is it? No, you're the sorry cop. The cop who's sorriest. Huge lack of enthusiasm going on in here.
Won't the other capotais be jealous?
What? Jealous of the They'll be super, super fine. It'll be totally okay. You can do... Oh, you know. Apocalypse, Superstellar, the advanced interesting cop, liquid shadow cop. But you're too sorry to say those things. So, here we go?
No, I'm actually not sorry. I changed my mind.
No, you don't. Come on. You'll be back to saying sorry in 2 minutes. Stop wasting time and begin the repentance.
I'm really not sorry. Fuck off.
Wow. Okay. Fuck.
Wow.
Lonesome. Long way home.
Nice.
Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district. Then, past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house no larger than a matchbox. 11 Voyager Road. You no longer live there.
Fascinating. Learning cap for perception raised to 5. Speed gives 1 PSY. This is the longest, so I'll do this and see if I can maybe do something while I'm asleep.
Yes?
I keep forgetting that it doesn't close conversations, and I have to actually press the leave button manually. I'm curious to see how this game changes on day 2. I know there's at least 3 days. See you in the morning. Alright, there's the bed, there's the ceiling fan. There's the mirror.
A mirror hangs on the wall, covered in steam. You cannot see yourself,
I feel
just
this is an
the
appropriate time to
outlines
look
of a
in the mirror.
man.
I feel like I've looked
You
at
have
my
no
face and
memory
followed
of the
it
face
down
that
long
awaits
enough.
you there. And as you slowly reach abort, you clearly have not thought this through. You won't like what you see there, and you will never unbecome it.
I don't care.
Behold.
Of course it's that face.
You have no idea who this thing is, do you?
This is the face of a late-stage
Too
alcoholic.
late. You clearly have rigor mortis on your face. Oh wait, is that an expression? Are you trying to make an expression with that face?
I'm making the face
Why,
making
please
stuff.
stop. It's horrible. You're
No.
scaring
This
yourself.
is what super
You
says
can't,
do.
can you? It's like it's not even voluntary anymore. You have worn that grin into your face, and now it won't come off.
I like that this is the vibe that has happened at the end of the day, after we had an entire day of introspection.
What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey?
looks suggestive.
Please promise yourself you are not going to try it on any of the ladies.
I promise.
You liar. You can't even tell the truth to yourself. Go ahead. Try something.
I get a +4 because of reciting the poem. It's still 3%. Formidable.
Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place somewhere in the past. That's all you know for now. It's too late. Like an image on film. The
I don't think I'd point to an encyclopedia would hurt.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. It belongs in the third decade of the current century. Enough time had passed from the failure of the revolution that, for a fleeting moment, free market economy seemed like the ultimate things were good. It was smooth sailing. People may forget about ostentatious orchestrations. Forever show. If it doesn't rhyme, you're not pronouncing it right. Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music, in an open air, what de nuit, everyone loved it. Maybe you thought some of the stardust would rub off on you. There is a vast ocean of time between right now and the expression. Looking good on you, or anyone. 2 decades, if the calendar is to be trusted. Humanity has run aground in that time. You have some understanding of the near history of disco, plus the trivia you've picked up. Not really. OO must have just stirred your mind. It doesn't have to be. You can swoon over Guillaume and his champagne-corked smile whenever you want to. Maybe some of the stardust still not happening. It won't come off that easy.
Yeah, that's fair.
The fan is spinning. The lights are on. The blades come squeaking to a halt. The bed is cold and not particularly.
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9 p.m.
The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes.
After I broke the fan. Whoops.
And then sleep. And then sleep doesn't come.
But I want to sleep.
Obviously, you're in bed with your eyes closed, but it's not happening.
Why?
Maybe it's the bed's fault. It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it?
Ooh.
Something to do with, what was it that the lieutenant said? Union? And it's gone again. Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch.
Dream sequence time. I was thinking, I kind of wanted to end at the end of the day because I felt that starting a day 2 next time would be a good time to start. This is perfect because I was worried it was a little too soon. This is perfect. Dream sequence to end. This is a good way.
Do you remember the scent of your childhood?
I was going to a hospital where people usually go to die.
You're not kidding anyone, Harry. You don't remember shit. Tell me. Do you remember your wife's hand on your face? Do you remember the warmth of her thighs, between her legs and in her mouth? Oh no, Funky baby, you stayed. It was the rest of it that left. Or you just stood there, with one hand on the bottle and the other on your dick, watching it go? Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours? They were only cramping your descent into the abyss. Now they're gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. All of it. You failed. You failed me. You failed Elysium. Everything. The Pale and the Islas. On the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history.
Damn, so their written history is, what is that? Depending on your opinion, somewhere between 3 and 5 times longer than ours.
You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people. And you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
I've seen you before.
No, you haven't. You're just sleep talking. And the act is wearing thin, too. The spot's on. You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in no time. Sweating up the bed. Stinky boy. You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours. Bumping into things and acting like a clown. Who are you kidding? You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin, sleep-like state. More glass than velvet, grinding in your head.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
God, there's another type?
Oh yes, party boy. And it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you... Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Oh, God. Is there another dream? Okay, no, we awake at 7:30. I mean, hey, we got 8.5 hours of sleep. That's not 0.
Good going, buddy.
That just most a beautiful dream, uplifting, rejuvenating.
Really? Because you feel even worse this morning than you did last night.
What the hell is going on with me?
Why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think.
Why is this happening?
It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more. You're too weak to say no now. Waking up is the worst part. Maybe somewhere down the line you could decline.
What is speed?
Speed is a potent central nervous system stimulant. It kept you it's power, man. It's professionalism.
No.
It makes you feel like you're young again and ready to detect. Are you sure? Ready to live as this pathetic shell of yourself for days? Basically, a week. Let's be honest, 2 weeks. Maybe 3. You won't make it. Half the town will be dead by then. You will be fired.
That's a lie. Do this out.
Suit yourself. Slow, sad shell man.
Why am I not surprised he has massive? Hey, my face looks more visible now. Even though I'd argue that I look nothing like what this guy looks like. I don't suppose I can read your shit.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your
Nope.
The window stands broken. The morning light hurts your eyes. It's hazy, but you see the ocean.
That's fair.
The fan stands still. The switch must be broken, because nothing happens. The lights are off again. The lights are on. The switch must be broken.
Yeah, I definitely wish I hadn't turned the fan off. That's gonna be so uncomfortable. Let's open the door and see if nobody is here yet.
The door is closed. There is no answer. You hear the shower being turned on. A tremendous loneliness comes over you. Everybody in the world is doing something without you. The door is indifferent to your loneliness.
Not gonna intrude on somebody else in the shower. That's just rude. Okay, so now we can see the data. I'll talk to him about Paula for today. Good morning.
Morning. Looks like we can get to work at once. The union muscle turned up. They look rowdy. We should talk to them. I mean ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. They prefer to be policed by the Union. These men here. Men who drink beer for breakfast? There's talk of an armed wing of the Union called the Hardy Boys, who are responsible. I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. One loose thread less to worry about, and one big problem to replace it.
I think that was the right mute button. I'll find out later. Why do we need to talk
Everything points to the Dock Workers Union, which may, of course, all be wrong. But we still need to talk to them, and it won't be easy. That would just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. In fact, even the death of 2 detectives might not warrant. One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to...
Good. A power move. Yeah, streetwise. But aren't you curious to know...
They're in no hurry to leave. They think they own...
Can I help you? Got the 20 real? Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
Paying it now so there's no temptation to spend it. There. Alright. That's it for today. Definitely need to know more about this game, and it's absolutely, completely insane, whatever you want to say it is. Crazy, crazy game. Alright. That was fun. Learned some things. So I think maybe better off not learning. Schedule, as basically explained, for a while it's going to just be weekends. Because, yeah. That's what I got time for, basically, is only Saturday. Because I have homework due this week, and then next week, and then 2 homeworks the week after, and then homework. I don't think there's homework the week after that, but there is midterms, so that's basically homework. And then homework again, and then probably homework again, but it's possible there'll be 2 homeworks in 7 instead. And then homework in week 9, and then finals. So every single week this week has 1 to 2 sets of group projects with 4 to 5 people. So that the weekdays are just school, and the weekends are school again. You love it. I'm the one who made this choice. I'm the one who decided, yeah, I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to go be a business moron. Person. Thing. Yeah. Let's go raid Shima. Shima needs a raid. Shima's playing fast mode. Thank you, everybody, for joining. It's always a pleasure. And I'll see you all the time. Later.